Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Spunkify here on behalf of MMOBomb.com, and welcome back to our first impression series. Today I'm taking a look at a game called Arena Cyber Evolution, or ACE for short. This game is currently in early access, having just been released into early access yesterday, and it's being developed by a small independent studio out of Montreal, Canada, known as Spearhead Games. So this game, of course, as early access, it's going to have its bugs, it's going to have its issues. I think the game is only in alpha currently, so just keep that in mind as you check out those first impressions. But it is a MOSA, or that's what the developers call it, a multiplayer online sports arena, not your typical MOBA of sorts. Really, the only thing it has in common with a MOBA is the fact that it's team-based, and your character that you select has a couple of special maneuvers or abilities that sort of define its role. Outside of that, there's no lanes, creeps, towers, nothing like that. It's kind of more like soccer or even ice hockey, air hockey, I think more likely. So it's been in development for a few months, actually. The game originally was started in development early in 2014, and it was known as Project Cyber back then. In fact, we actually have a development interview from PAX East back in April with the guys at Spearhead talking about it. Since then, they've made a lot of iterations and finally have released it onto early access. And one thing unique about Spearhead Games' design philosophy and sort of like how they go about being transparent with the community is the sense that every day that they're developing, they are streaming the development as well. So there's a set period every day where they do a stream live with the community. They talk about what they want to change about the game. They interact with the community, take their feedback, kind of talk about where they're headed next, what things are going to be added. So it's probably the most transparent development process I have yet to see in development. I mean, we have games like Unreal Tournament coming out, which also has that transparency whereby, you know, there's a lot of communication through the forums and what have you, and assisting the community in developing that game. But I have never seen something like Spearhead where they actually every day do a live stream. That's really hard to sort of upkeep, and kudos and props to Spearhead to be able to do that. And what your end result is, they were able to make a lot of iteration changes and customize the game based on what the community wants. So you get a game that's, you know, fairly unique, and a game that's always changing based on the community needs and wants and what's most important at that moment. That is really commendable for them, and I really hope to see what that adds into the game, you know, later on. But let's talk about the game itself. Okay, it's a 3v3 MOSA sports arena game, kind of like air hockey, you know, ice hockey. You have these teams of characters. Each of them has like a role. Some of them are better at passing and moving the puck across the screen. Other ones are better at being blockers and something like goalies, of course. There's specific characters for a specific style of roles. And unfortunately, I'm not really able to show you the characters outside of jumping into a match outright. But once we get in, we'll be able to show you guys the different style of roles that people can play, and then the abilities and etc. that you can do. There are missions currently in the game whereby if you win a certain amount of matches or play a character, you're able to gain the in-game currency, which is called Cyberbucks. The developers actually have stated that Cyberbucks is going to be the only way, really, that characters can progress in the game. So you won't be able to buy, I mean, there is a cash-up currency here. You can kind of see it right there. But you won't be able to buy any kind of like upgrades or anything that's related to power or performance with that currency. Any kind of progression is based around just getting the in-game currency of Cyberbucks. That being said, Cyberbucks don't really come very quickly currently in the early access version, so it does take a long time to grind up what you need to unlock things like implants or just new characters overall. I think a new character costs something like 3,000 to 4,000 Cyberbucks, and I've only accrued 210 or so after a couple hours of play. So you can kind of get an idea of how long it would take currently to unlock new characters. That being said, the implants here, as we can see, these are basically broken down into 3 subsets. You have team implants, personal implants, and then genetic mods. Team implants, as the name suggests, this is something that bonuses or gives a bonus to your entire team. Usually it's charge based, so what that means is you only get a certain amount of charges per match. In this case, 10 is what you start off with, and you will deplete those currently unless you purchase the implant permanently. Now, these implants can actually be swapped out before the match begins, so you don't innately get all the implants you've unlocked. You kind of just choose based on what character you're playing in order to augment its playstyle and kind of define your role in the game. So some of them are like maximum fuel, as well as when you get scored upon, gain a temporary movement speed. Not too sure what fuel is because I haven't really seen anything talking about fuel. But this is pretty straightforward, allowing you to get a movement speed boost whenever you get scored upon. Kind of give you a little edge so you can try to come back. Increase the speed of the disc when shooting. That's another team implant there. That seems pretty nice. And these are all unlocked based on the level. So the higher you go, the more types of unlocks that you can accrue. Personal implants, these are things that of course only affect your character. Things like after a successful pass, your ally will shoot stronger for a short duration. And then after a successful pass, your ally gains a movement speed bonus for a short duration. So those are things that directly affect how your player interacts with other characters around them, as well as how they do their own abilities and whatnot. Increase your grab range, that dictates how far you can grab the puck and what have you. And then genetic mods, these are things like make your power active, accelerate, boost for a short duration. These are kind of like additional abilities on top of the 2 abilities that each character sort of starts with. So everybody has 2 abilities, a main sort of spammable ability that's on a cooldown, and then there's a charged based ability, which is kind of like your ultimate that ranges anywhere from a teleport to invulnerability or sorry, the ability to knock the puck away, kind of like an explosion. There's all different sorts of them, and that kind of is where the MOBA element comes into play. Alright, so let's go ahead and then jump into a normal match here. You only need 6 people to start a match, but I have found that currently in the game, you can average about 4 players. Ooh, looks like I already found a match. That's great. If you don't have a full team, bots will actually come along with you. So you can get anywhere between 2 bots to 1 bot, depending on how many people have actually queued up. And the bots, they do all right. They get the job done. But of course, you always want another player if possible there. Did not receive lobby ID. Okay, well, there you go. That's the thing with bugs in the game. Sometimes you don't actually get a game to full completion. A lot of times, right now, the game doesn't have any dedicated servers or anything like that, so it's all based off just peer-to-peer. So somebody will drop out, maybe you'll lose the host, and what have you. These are all things that are subject to change and get updated. And in fact, there's a full support kind of like Kickstarter backer list thing, which will talk about all the different kind of changes that Spearhead wants to implement into the game if they get a certain amount of support money. So you can actually directly contribute to the support of the game by buying things like DLC packs. Those give you like extra characters and maybe you have to unlock in game normally. And it's not so much pay to win because you're just unlocking a character you would normally unlock anyways. But then also there's things like cosmetic skins they give you as well. So everybody's kind of just choosing their characters here. As you'll notice, there's quite a few characters to choose from, about 5 or 6 to start with in the alpha version. These I have to actually unlock in order to gain those. But I think I'm going to go ahead. Oh, it looks like everybody's kind of already selected their roles. I guess I'll go. I can't lock in as the negotiator for some reason. Someone else locking in as that? Hopefully so, because you really do need that tank character. Hopefully I didn't actually get locked out of that. None of the characters, it looks like, that are open to play are currently available for me to choose. Alright, here. Well, I can at least choose my... I'll go ahead and get the team revenge when they get scared upon, gain a temporary movement speed, and you can see all the other ones I have access to. Only those 2 currently. I haven't gained the personal implants or the genetic mods as of yet. So I guess I'll just go ahead and get the scored upon thing right there. Oh, how long I can hold the disc. Okay, so that's what's fuel. So there is a certain duration of how long you can hold the disc before you just let it go. And unfortunately, I'm going to be playing as the goalie. So as the goalie, you're not going to see some of the more fast-paced action. But the matches are fairly short. You got a little practice period to start with just to kind of get used to your character. So on our team here, we have this guy and this guy as well. I forget the names right here. You can pass the ball back and forth by hitting the left click button using WASD to move. When you left click, you have a certain amount of time you can hold down or hold the ball before you release it. And anyone can steal the ball by simply coming up and kind of clicking it as they go by. So with that in mind, you can't really just hold the ball and take it, drag it all the way to the enemy's base and let it go. You can get it stolen. In fact, it's very easy to get the ball stolen as well. Almost too easy sometimes, especially if you're trying to pass at close range. Allies can also take balls from you without you kind of consenting to that. I'm not really too sure how I feel about that, but there is that option here. So as the goalie, I'm already getting scored upon. I got to really pay attention here. And the matches are only about 5 minutes long. And right now, there's not a really easy way to communicate with the team. Kind of do your coordination. Hopefully they would be able to add, oh look, there's a little bit of chat right there. I think you can do it by hitting the console command. Oh, get the ball. I'm just going to push it over there. I want to pass it to my teammates, but for me, unfortunately, I'm in this really awkward position here. Alright, so my special ability is to teleport immediately back to my base, or back to my goal rather, not all your base belong to us. When I teleport back there, I'm able to basically quickly regain my spot and able to block. So I can come out here and assist the team, and then if I feel like I'm being threatened, I can come back and immediately defend on my base. However, there's only a certain amount of period that I can, or a certain amount of times I can do that. Oh, yes! We got ourselves a kill. And then after, or not a kill. I'm so used to normal MOBA. I got ourselves a goal there. After each sort of goal, you kind of have a little bit of a cutscene, a instant replay. It kind of gets annoying a little bit sometimes, especially if you have like just a really generic score. But you can see that after every time. You saw Ethan there, he used his special charge ability. You only get a few of those though. I think only about 3 to 4 depending on which character and which special ability they have. Which means you really got to use them sparingly. And honestly, I don't really know how I feel about that. I kind of like the idea more of having the charges, but the charges being like something that regenerates over time. Because your first ability, look, I'm not even doing anything over here. Your first ability, which is on your right click, has a cooldown. So I'm over there cheering like way across the screen. And the cooldown comes up and you're able to use your ability. So my cooldown, for example, allows me to push the ball away. Like this, like that. Let's get that to my ally over there. My ally who has the ball right now, his special ability allows him to hit an ally with a special charge, which gives him and a, oh god, there we go. Gives him and an ally a speed boost. And then the character who has it right now, his special ability is able to project or basically send the projectile forward much faster. What are you doing back there? I think he's just wasting some time trying to wind the clock down a little bit here. I gotta, oh god! Send the ball over there, okay. And then his special ability allows him to gain a huge speed boost and rocket across the screen very quickly. Now as we get closer to 2 minutes and 30 seconds, which is basically the halfway point. Oh my god, no! He stole it there at the last second. You see I get the ball here and then he takes it. I wasn't even, you gotta really maneuver your character around to make sure that they don't swoop in there and steal the ball. Looks like my character's just looking off on the side there a little bit. So yeah, 2 minutes and 30 seconds. There will actually be a change to the arena. And I think these things right here are also charges I can pick up. Although I haven't really seen anything talk about that in specific. Alright, so I'm going to come over here. Here goes the event. And the events are sort of randomized. You get a different event for each match. Some events are things like, I think right now you're going to get some wind that comes across the screen. Yep. So it's going to blow everybody and the puck to the left. Sometimes that direction changes, so it's not always to the left here. Send the ball that way. I can buffet the ball back as it comes with the right click. So you do have to sort of like maneuver and push against that a little bit. Other times there'll be things like the whole arena will turn to ice, and then there's other ones where the walls become sort of electrified and the ball bounces off of it that much faster. I don't know how to get my right click to work. I'm supposed to be able to buffet it back, but sometimes it doesn't seem like it actually does what it's supposed to do. So our character, he's over there trying to make something work. I can come up here, and again, because I have my spacebar, I can immediately come back. Give it to him. Come back here. Oh, catch the ball. So there you go. That's a perfect example of using my charges to great effect. And I believe you can actually change out some of the ability. He just scored on his own self. What in the world? He took the ball back, released it, boom. You can score on yourself, unfortunately. But you can't score unless, if you are the enemy team, you can't score on our goal unless you do cross the middle line area. So you can't shoot it from like halfway across the screen and it go in. There's a sort of like a barricade, if you will. So I think he just got a charge, or those are the charges rather. I'm gonna move up here. I'm pretty slow. Each character has their own movement speed and sort of their own stats, if you will. The benefit of me, though, is the fact that I have a much wider grab area than most characters. Shoot that over there. So that means that I'm able to grab the ball from a fairly wide area. It looks like we got a score again. getting a nice quick thing, passes it to his ally, my ally, and scores. So it's 4-2. We're winning pretty well right now. Puck's going to go to them on their side here. So yeah, the game definitely has a lot of promise in its current state. It's very buggy, and one of the main things right now that's really plaguing the game is the fact that peer-to-peer is not working out. There's a lot of lag that occurs. Right now we're actually having a really rare game where there isn't too much lag. I think it's because I'm the host, perhaps. But oftentimes you'll see in game matches, players will jitter around, and especially when you're trying to vie for this puck, and the puck is sort of obeying the physics that are on the game, and you know, the peer-to-peer, you'll have a lot of times. I think he's just trolling now and just literally grabbing the ball. All right, is he He's like he was trying to grab it and then just ended up putting it in. Oh, I feel so bad for them, but it's okay. I've had a ton of losses myself, so it's not really like that much different. We'll try to get a different game going, and it's got like a robot voice announcing all the text in there. I think that's pretty funny. All right, 10 seconds left in this match. So matches are very short. They're only about 5 minutes. Oh, they use this little special speed boost there. Look at this. We're just easily getting these kills. I think the other team's player actually left the game after it was such a horrendous loss. And right now there isn't any sort of lever bonus or lever penalty. So it doesn't seem like you really have to worry about that too much. But of course those are things hopefully that come into play later as development continues. Matchmaking still needs work. There isn't ranked matchmaking in the game as well. So you just kind of like the basic matchmaking where you put it with whoever's just in queue. But if you look at the sort of support tiered, you know, upgrades or stretch goals, if you will, on the website, they have a lot of things like ranked mode comes in at $10,000, and then every so often they have community choice, whereby community members can choose what new bonuses they get. So eventually there's these goals and stats that will be shown on the left. Currently not shown at all, unfortunately, but you'll see here as we progress. I'll get personal implant slot 1, active enhancement, 1,000 cyberbucks at level 10, chest system, personal slots. So there's all these different upgrades that you can get eventually. I think the chest system comes into play with the implants, whereby you can find chests, and the chest will have these charges instead of just having to buy the implant in order to accrue the implant overall. I think buying it versus getting the chest system is a little better, though I just think that you could stand to gain the in-game cyberbucks a lot quicker. And again, that's all just sort of the customization. This is all the way up to level 30. They haven't added all the different upgrades up to that point. Let's go ahead though and get really quickly back into queue. You can play versus bots, but who wants to do that? You know, you can always just opt to play with players and other bots if needed. Later on in the sort of stretch goals, they talk about things like weekly and monthly online tournaments. And then if you get, I think, up to $750,000 in their stretch goals, they talk about, oh, I don't want to use this character. Let's go with this guy. Oh, I like this guy. Vex Wrecker here. And then we'll choose to opt for Revenge for our team bonus there. Can't use my personals quite yet. We need a goalie. There we go. Alright, so we got our goalie now. You really do need the goalie. I actually had someone leave a game of mine because our team did not have a goalie. They just were like outright left the game because they're like, no goalie, no win. And hopefully, I don't know if the other characters available to you are other goalies, but I would assume later on you can get a wide choice of goalies and different sort of team members essentially. But the goalie seems to be, whatever other character you choose, the goalie seems to be the most key character that you need on your team. You can have multiple goalies though, but of course you kind of gimp yourself with that system here. Alright, so I'm loaded in. We're going to start this match. You notice I'm quite a lot faster. So my character can do a speed boost by right-clicking on and sort of doing the skill shot into an ally. It'll boost both of us up here. And then my special allows me to knock the ball out of his hand by hitting space, as you can see there. Knocks it back behind. That's really useful if a goalie has the ball, because you can basically knock it out of their hand and knock it behind them. Some of the other characters I haven't played yet, but I have heard that some of their abilities allow them to teleport or cloak, so you can't know where they are on the screen. That way they maybe just steal the ball from behind you really quickly. If anything, if I had any sort of criticisms of the current sort of iteration of the game, it would be that it occasionally feels a little bit too slow. You have these sort of special abilities that make you go fast and everything like that, and I think the ball could stand to bounce a little bit faster and kind of have more of like basically like an air hockey feel to it. You do have the sort of tacticalness of it. Like this character here, he just stole the ball in between our two. Come on, I'm here. Oh! I want to... Where is it? Where is it? Let's grab this ball back from him. He steals the ball. I'm trying to get my skill shot off. Skill shots could actually be pretty hard to hit. Oh, I missed it as well. Okay. But again, I think that also comes into play with like the implants and everything, you know. It's hard to say how the game plays right now versus how slow it plays right now versus how fast it may play. I missed that again. I can't believe. I only have one charge left. If I don't use any more. All right, so he took it from me. I can give him a little speed boost. Oh, ball goes way over there. The goalie picks it up. See, he used his little boost there. My boost wasn't working so much. Get it, goalie! Don't let it go in. No, they stole it. All right, I got it. I'm gonna take it over here. You can't hold on to it for very long, though. Come on, over here. Come on, give it to me. Give it to me right here. There we go. I knocked it out of his hand, but really couldn't do anything with it. Knocking it back over there. Hopefully, it was trying to get towards my ally, but I think I just screwed us a little bit. There is body blocking you can do, of course, and it is positional. So if I bring the ball down the field from this angle, they would have to... I'm sorry, I didn't mean to take it from you. So you can steal it from behind. I think they need to change that a little bit because someone can basically just go over the top of you and take the puck. I would like to see it not be, you know, tradable between allies, essentially, between teammates. Because you can accidentally steal from someone and then you're in a worse position. I'm ready. Then you get these matches where no one... I don't think I've ever had a match to go this long without a score yet. Really, once you get into the goal range, it can be really difficult because of collision to not lose the ball, essentially. Come on. Right here. Yeah! He pushed me back a little bit. We got this arena thing coming in. What's going to happen? I think it's another... Oh, no, it's the bouncing walls, I think. So I think if I actually knock it off this wall, it'll go really fast. Oh, man! Holy crap, the ball goes so fast. Here we go. See, I think that should be just like normal. Like the screen always goes that fast. Alright, come on, bring it over here. Let's get a score. So he tried to increase the speed there really quickly. Wasn't able to successfully hit it in. Try to get my ally there. I would hope that it... Like, maybe let's say you miss your ally. Got it, there you go. But it would just give you the bonus. Because then you're basically... You've wasted a cooldown and you didn't get anything out of it. Come on. I just think that abilities can usually have... Yeah, I wasn't able to hold on to it long enough. That's the whole fuel thing where you can increase the duration of how long you can hold the puck. Don't score! Don't let him score! No! Oh no. Poor goalie there. But there's the whole thing where they can, as long as they kind of get by you, they can always re-steal the ball back. And I don't know, maybe if there was like an internal cooldown, just slightly, like half a second or so, where you couldn't re-steal the ball back, so it didn't have this periods where people were just passing the ball back and forth. Come on. There's the ball. There's the ball. We just need to score if we can tie it up, guys. A minute left. Oh, he's knocked it down here. Give him a speed boost there. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know you passed it to me. So again, this game does require practice. And there's been a lot of people sort of... get the ball across! Oh my gosh. Oh, it's right there. Oh my god, can I get it? Oh, get it in. Get the ball. Shoot the ball in. Oh, I'm back here on the backside. Holy crap. Oh, right here. 30 seconds. So close. I'm ready. Give me the ball. The puck. The hexagon, whatever it is. The music in here is actually quite good as well. I think the game has a lot of potential. You know, it can be, if they sped it up just ever so slightly, I think, and you know, worked on the net improvements, I think the game would be quite a fun distraction. You know, and the matches aren't that long, so it's not like that long drawn out. And in fact, later on, they said that they want to actually So it says 0 to 0, but we actually lost. It didn't tally their points. It just didn't show it up on the UI. Again, that's the whole like little bit of glitchiness to it. And sometimes the characters, you'll see they face the wrong direction after the screen. But it was a defeat. It shows 0 to 0, but it was indeed a defeat, unfortunately. And because of that, I got 140 experience. I don't know if I was able to get anything else. The screen looks a little bit glitchy. I think it's tallying something right now. But yeah, you can see the game still has a little ways to go. Definitely fun in bursts. I think it's a lot more fun if you have players or friends to play with, especially if you're on some VoIP communication like Skype or something like that, because you have these really intense moments. And the game is going to continuously get better as more and more people contribute to the game, and you know they continue the development. This again, it was just started in development back in what, January or something like that. So not even a full year, and it's got the core concepts down, and the developers have already opened it up. Even before this, they opened it up for players to download the game through the official site and try it out. So it's been really iterative that whole time. Oh, there we go. So it's back here. So there's other characters like Nature Queen as well. I think she actually can freeze the ground and slow the ball down. So you got things that slow the ball, that speed the ball up. Other ones like he can teleport, I believe, to anywhere his cursor is. I think there's only a problem with the fact that when you teleport, it brings the ball with you. So things like that should be balanced out there. But overall, I think this is definitely welcomed in the genre of MOBA-ish kind of games. It's definitely unique enough, and I think the matches are short enough to where people can really get in and enjoy it. But kudos again to Spearhead for continuing the transparent development. Looking forward to seeing what else comes as it continuously gets evolving, you know, and new features are added and what have you. But I think one of the features that I'm looking forward to the most is the fact that in the future, those events that you saw, those won't just be timed. Spectators will actually be able to watch the modes, or watch the games rather, and then contribute to those in-game events. You know, they can vote for an event and they can vote for when it happens, so it gets a lot more chaotic. And besides just changing what direction, you know, the wind blows and what have you, and making it ice-based or the walls be more reflective, I think there's also ones that open up holes in the ground that you can fall through, or the puck can fall through, you know, so things like that change the way that the map is played, and I think later on there'll be different styled maps as well. So those are my current sort of impressions of the game in its early access state. Like I said, still things to come, but I'm liking what it's looking like so far. The art style is nice. The graphics have this sort of Vengeful Joe style of aesthetic to them. The audio is quite good. I think the style of audio in terms of the music that's added to the game, very much something that fits the style and overall aesthetic of it. Yeah, overall, I think it's something that you should check out if you're interested in sports-ish style games, and certainly something that doesn't just follow the normal path of MOBAs. It actually makes sense for it to have like the sports, you know, MOSA, while I'm not really into all the different acronyms of MOBAs. It definitely adds something to the genre instead of just sort of repeating what the genre already has within it. You know, with things like League of Legends and Dota 2 and all those other style of creep-killing, level-inducing games that are in the MOBA genre. Alright guys, that has been my first impressions. Hope you enjoyed it. If you want to learn more, check out the full game profile on MOBomb.com, or just download the game for yourself through the Steam Early Access page. I will leave a link for that down below. And until next time, we'll see you guys later. Smugglify out. Later guys.